one of the projects, one of the things that we've committed to with every budget is that agencies need to identify a total of $250,000 in ongoing efficiencies for each year of the 5-year plan. And what we have come up with here is 247 that have been obligated. And these are where we do this through Budget Congress, and each of the agencies comes up and lets us know exactly what it is that they can contribute to that. And we don't look for simply just, well, I'll just cut this and we'll figure out how to do something later. We ask them to really identify things that they have specifically put into place which generate savings. And just to put a couple of these, I'll go ahead and put budget first, since we're budget. The citizen survey, as you all know, the contract amount was reduced by $25,000. So that's a savings that we can return to the general fund because we simply don't need that in the coming years. Public Works was able to move to a paperless case delivery in neighborhood services. That reduced $11,000 in paper and in file space that they simply do not have to have in their budget anymore. The ADC has 2 small ones on here, but they are much appreciated, making changes in the pagers that they use at the ADC, as well as changing the way that their breathalyzer is used, the supplies that are needed. They changed the type of breathalyzer, which reduced the need for a particular supply that had to be gone with that. Again, very small things, but stuff that really does add up over time. And we have come up with the $247,000 in base budget reductions. And this is where the agencies are saying, okay, well, you can go ahead and take this out of my budget for the coming year. So they're committing to that up front. In addition to that, we have these other reductions that are not necessarily efficiency-based, but they are places where the departments have gone through and looked at other places where they said, well, we're simply not spending the same level of money here that we may have in the past. And so we're going to go ahead and take these reductions. The largest one that's on here is for the DSS state child care program. The state came and said, we're going to start delivering these services directly. And so therefore, we do not need to have the administrative structure in place here in Prince William County to be able to manage that program. So that's a significant reduction that came through DSS. Total agency reduction is $540,000. This is a pretty impressive slide. We'll just leave it up. We won't talk about it. We'll just put it up there. We talked about the agency efficiencies. We talked about the other agency reductions. We talked about the base budget savings. We spoke with you during the capital presentation about the capital team debt service shift. VRS has come back and redone our actuarials. We had budgeted to have roughly an $11 million increase in our VRS costs for the coming years. We still have over $6 million that we need to spend, but we actually have a savings in what we thought we were going to have to spend, so that's a reduction in our 5-year plan costs. We have salary attrition savings. We continue to turn staff over where we're replacing higher paid retiring staff with newer, lower compensated staff because they're coming in at the beginning of the pay schedule instead of at the end. So that's a savings to us. We don't know in any given year if we're going to have that each year, but this year we do have it. We have a $3 million reduction in savings. And we had budgeted in the 5-year plan last year that we would have implementation costs relating to the Health Reform Act. And as it turns out for fiscal 13, we don't expect to have those costs. And so we have removed that from the 5-year planning for fiscal 13. And when you add all of these things together, it's $18.9 million. So that when we start planning for the fiscal 13 budget, we're starting at a far lower base than what we would have been if we had not engaged in this kind of work. And this kind of work, as we said already, is not a one-time thing, sort of the fad of the month. This is continual work that is done throughout the organization on a regular basis, year in and year out, to make sure that we are providing the best possible service to the citizens at the lowest cost. And finally, to wrap up, we put this in terms of what this means in regards to the tax bill. And so for the savings that were actually realized in fiscal 11, you can see that the total impact, $9.5 million, equates to 2.4 cents on the general fund dollar. What we have identified going forward for fiscal year 13, $18.9 million, and you saw how we got to that $18.9 million, that equates to 4.7 cents on the general fund dollar that we do not have to come and ask you for. These are real dollar savings that the staff of Prince William County government has been able to find and to utilize and reuse in order to make sure that the services that we're providing are at the best possible value, and we kind of go forward from there. So it's very exciting to be able to stand up here and talk about the actual value of what staff does. And you can see that it's not just 1 year, it's not just a fad, it is a continual, it's the way we do business here in Prince William County. And it's quite an honor to be able to stand up and be the one who gets to say that. So I appreciate that the county exec lets me do that.